All right, so today we are solving equations with variables on both sides again, but now this time they look a little more complicated. We're going to do example C together. I'm going to draw my line and let's look at this. The way it looks different is that instead of just having one variable term on both sides, this side actually has two. But if you remember what we did from our combining like terms day, I can actually combine these into one term. So an minus n, this is 1n, so an minus 1n is 7n. And then I can just rewrite the rest of the equation exactly the way it was. Now I can solve it the way we did yesterday by subtracting one of the n terms. So I'll subtract this one because it's smaller. I don't like negatives, do you? So I'll subtract 6n from both sides, and remember that it has to be the variable term. Oh my goodness. I put that those cancel out, but they actually don't. So 7 minus 6 is 1n, and then I'll keep my plus 4. Now, when we go over here, we're going to need to undo that plus 4, and the thing that does addition is subtraction. And I'll have negative 11 equals 1n. Or you can say n equals negative 11. Now remember, the way that you check your answer is that you plug in what this equals every time you see an n. So does 6 times negative 11 minus 7 equal 8 times negative 11 minus 1 times negative 11 plus 4? And then if you don't want to do this in your head, you can plug this side into your calculator and find out what it equals, and plug this side into your calculator and find out what it equals. And that's how you can check your work. So on the left side, if I were to plug it in my calculator or just do it, I find it equals 59. Is that right? Negative 59. No. Oh my goodness, guys. Negative 66 minus 7, oh goodness, is negative 73. Okay, then on the other side, I find this is negative 88 plus 11 plus 4. So negative 88 plus 15 does equal negative 73. Those sides are equal. We did it right. Negative 11 is the answer. Now we're going to go ahead and do example B. Let's remember the steps that we did first. So on my first line, what I did was I simplified. So I simplified, and in this case, I simplified by combining like terms. And then I just, I subtracted a variable term. And then I undid the two-step, or in this case, a one-step equation, the way you learned how to do last year. So if you can remember, simplify both sides, then subtract a variable term from both sides, and then undo the two-step equation. We're going to go over here and do B. When we simplify, we don't actually change anything over to different sides of the equal sign. So I'm going to simplify on this side. I notice that I have two constants over here. Let's include that minus sign. So 18.1 minus 2 is 16.1. And then I'll keep this minus 2n because it doesn't have a buddy on that side. Then on the other side, I didn't actually have to do anything, so I'll have 4.2n plus 0.6. Now what's nice about this problem is it says what steps are missing, and they actually have like the second to last step for us, so we can kind of check to see if we did it all right, but you are going to want to answer that question at the end. Now I'm going to get rid of a variable term, and I get a hint that the n is over here, but I know that negative 2n is negative and I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2n to both sides. And remember, you have to do the n's together. It doesn't add with anything else except just the n's because they're like terms. Okay, what's on my other side of the equal sign? I get 6.2n plus 0.6. Okay, so now I have that 6.2n over there. Now what I must need to do is just get rid of this 0.6. So does that work? If I subtract 0.6 over here and subtract 0.6 over here, does that equal? Yes, it does. 16.1 minus 0.6 does equal 15.5. And now we have one last step to do, and that is divide. And I'll divide by the number next to the n because I want to isolate n. The other side doesn't have an n on it. And I need to find out what 15.5 divided by 6.2 equals. And I don't know that off the top of my head. So let's go over here. This is a nice nifty calculator app that you can use. Divided by 6.2, I get 2.5. So 2.5 is my answer. And remember, you can always check your work by plugging it into the equation above.